Welcome, welcome. I was thinking about introducing, coming on the show and saying, hey, like Fat Albert, but we'll go with welcome. So, good evening. Um, my name is Coach Chef Diab Muhammad, and I would like to welcome you all to the newly named for this season, for the 2023-24 Bear season, the uh, it's mouthful sometimes. We are now called the Midweek Bears Report. So that's the name of the show for this year. We're going to go with that. I think it's catchy. I think that people will be easily it'll be easier to find us on YouTube, and that's what we're going to the Midweek Bears Report. Midweek Bears Report. Uh, Host with me, Coach Chef Dia Muhammad, and I'm going to now bring on one of my co-hosts, Brooke
Hi guys.
Booyal. Um, how you doing, Brooke?
I am doing peachy.
Peachy, yeah. Based on what we did in our pre-show, yes, peachy is the word. We're both doing peachy. Now with our new format, we will be airing every Thursday. Um, because of logistics of life, some of us have issues with Sundays. Okay, I have an issue coming on pregame Sunday, which was the idea. We did that last year. I thought we did a really good job for about 3 to 6 weeks. And then my employer decided to give me the shaft without lube, excuse my expression, and change my schedule. I even tried literally to work 6 days a week just to have Sundays off to do the show. And that was kind of the end. Those who followed us, that was the end of the show. I think we did for like a month, we did every other week, which was weird. And then finally, he just didn't take my schedule into consideration. And I work every Sunday. I've been working every Sunday since. So to help me out, as well as to help others out, we're changing the format. We'll be airing every Thursday, not at this time, 8 o'clock, hopefully at 6 o'clock. We're getting those logistics out. But we will be airing every Thursday to give you all a pre or midweek review from last week's Bears game going into the current week Bears game. So it'll be me, Coach Chef, it'll be Brooke, and we have another co-host that will be with us. Um, and I'm going to wait till he's here before we can introduce him. So whenever I get the heads up, unfortunately, because we're testing this out, he's not with us at this point, but hopefully he will join us this evening. That way we can introduce him to everyone and we can get this going with all three of us. Um, so yeah, that's the idea. So from now on, for the remainder of the 2023 Bears 24 Bears season, we are the midweek Bears report. Midweek Bears report. Is that a tongue twister? Can you say that, Brooke?
No, I'm just gonna use the abbreviation CCPM.
Chicago
Yeah,
Clubhouse
whatever the
Network.
rest of it is, like,
Midweek
she said what
Bears
she said.
report.
I'm just gonna use the CCP midweek Bears report because yeah, it's quite a tongue twister.
A little bit.
Definitely.
It's okay.
But I am glad we were able to move the show because I love co-hosting with you. You are
I
my
appreciate
facts
it.
and stats guy. You're my betting guy. And it wouldn't be a show without you. I just want to let you know I
I appreciate
appreciate
that
you
so much.
so much.
I appreciate that so much, bro. So the format's going to be slightly different, but yet the same. Um, this year, I kind of already said, we're going to do a post week of what everyone saw. The pre week, we're going to synopsisize it, summarize it, how we felt about it. Then we're going to do our pre-game report. Of course, things are probably going to change between Thursday and Sunday. We're going to have all of that information, but we're going to run it. I mean, other shows do it on TV and podcasts. So that's what we're going to do, and we're going to do the best job to give you the best information, our opinion mixed with facts. We're going to give you the best show possible.
But also, just to kick in on that, on Sunday, me and Easy will be going on Sunday pre-game to give you guys the update on the IR, the facts, the what's and stats. It won't be a long show, but it's going to be a show to give all the updates pre-game on Sunday with me and Easy. So we also do have that update, but
Oh,
this show
awesome.
has so much more packed into it. Sunday's kind of a recap, and an update.
I
So we
love that.
also have that with Chicago Clubhouse podcast. So we do have the shows to keep
A
you
pregame.
informed every day of the week.
Hey, and as we've always said, this is the podcast, but it's Chicago Clubhouse Network, as you see in the left corner, my left. Yeah, left
It's over
corner.
there.
Yeah, right. or over,
down
or
there.
over there.
It's somewhere.
Right. So we're going to give you the best we can. You need to tune in almost every day. We have a show Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday,
Yep. Friday.
Sunday, Friday and Sunday. Chicago Clubhouse Network. We'll give you all. We have something for whatever you want to listen to. We have something for everyone. So make sure you like and subscribe on all our social media, Twitter, Facebook, especially YouTube. We got to get those YouTube subscribers up and those YouTube views. If you want to view us, if you want your comments read, you have to. It's better. It's better to be on YouTube than Facebook. Everyone has YouTube, so be on YouTube. Tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers. If you're a Bears fan, if you're a Chicago sports fan, you need to tune in to the Chicago Clubhouse Network. So that's us. We'll be pubbing that every day.
Kind of a big kicker. This next Saturday, right before the Bears opener game on 9/9. It is
September 9th.
YouTube exclusive. It's YouTube only. It won't be on Facebook. It will be on YouTube only. The boys from Tuesday night are going to be there with a wide receiver at Club Hugh in Chicago.
Yes.
Saturday night. It is a YouTube exclusive. You won't see this on Facebook. You guys need to subscribe. You guys need to get that in. You guys want that. And the boys on Tuesday night always have a great guest of current past players, refs, you name it. Subscribe.
Commentators, everything. You know what? We got to get I got to talk to Tina. We got to get some other special effects. It should be exclusive, like Blair, exclusive. While we're talking, it should be exclusive at the bottom or something, or over top.
Tina's sleeping over there because I'll tell you. What, I don't know if he's going to have the one clip because there's one player I'm going to bring up that should have been cut and is not cut, and I'm going to mention that name, and you already know which one that is. So I'm kind of curious to see if he's going to be on it to post that when I mention it.
So I guess I'm going to do a spoiler for it. I'm not going to leave this a surprise. If you're a Bears fan, then you know the guy they're going to have. If you've been a Bears fan, you know this guy. He played with the team for several years as a receiver and special teams. He's also been on the Tuesday show with JB, Foulmouth Krish, Frank the Tank, and T-Nick, Ahmad Merritt. They're all going to be, like Brooke said, at the Hue in Chicago. Hue, H-U-E, in Chicago. Right down the street from Chinatown, right down the street from where do the Chicago Sky play? US? No. I'm not sure the stadium, but it's down the street from there. It's down the street from the McCormick Center. It's very easy to find. The Hue, H-U-E, on September 9th. That's a Saturday at 4 p.m. with exclusive show with Ahmad Merritt, and everyone be there. Everyone but me because I'll be at work.
I'll see you later, though.
Yes, indeed. Brooke will be in town. Brooke is coming to the CHI. She will be here for the Bears' first home game with the Green Bay Packers. So we spent 10 minutes pubbing all of that. We're going to continue to do it through the show. We're working out some kinks now. We decided to do. I've got kids in the background. I got my rambunctious terrorist 1-year-old. Some of you saw him last season. Anyway, so we're going to try to break down a full off season, some 2022-23 season into this season of what the Bears have been going through in the off season. The last time I was on the air, it was me and Easy. We went on live the day that the Bears traded the number 1 pick for DJ Moore. We'll get to that. But I wanted to start off by, we've already introduced ourselves. I'm Coach Chef, ex-football player, high school, college, semi-pro, current coach at the high school level. Thank you, Mike, the Bear fan, Bear down. current high school football coach in the Chicago Public School District. Velvet Jones. Thank you, Frank.
Velvet
Um,
Jones.
yeah, I'm your stat. I'm your coach. Your guy who watches the film and breaks it down. Um, hey, I'm not going to say the stats never lie because it can be deceiving if you don't know what you're
Okay.
looking for. But
So Frank did say Paul. Is it
Paul Edinger, former Bears kicker from Michigan State.
Mama
JB
Gordon is going to be there. Misty is going to be there, it looks like. And I don't know, the rest of it kind of like fell off my screen because he didn't leave it up long enough. But there's
Paul Edinger will be there. Cal Gordon will. Yeah, Cal Gordon. Who's Cal Gordon? Oh, Kyler. His name is not Gordon. Kyler Gordon. That's his last name.
I'm like trying to read the bottom of the fucking.
Okay.
You bite me.
His family will be
we
there.
all know he is one of our better defensive players. Don't go there with me.
I'm
Mama
sorry.
Mama Gordon will be there. Misty will be there.
Misty Mongo McMichael. She will be there. Who else? And she will be bringing.
The thing popped off that producer. I'm gonna slap him. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I love what you guys do behind the screen.
Antonio, thank you for chiming in today. He asked, also join this Chicago Clubhouse Podcast Network Fantasy League. There's only 4 spots left. So I may join. I don't know. I'm kind of a money league guy. If there's no money involved, I don't pay as much attention. Bragging rights, but that's just me.
There is, I believe, 32 of us in that league. So there's only 4 spots left out of 32. It will be a very, very interesting league.
It's a 32-team fantasy league?
According to Chicago Clubhouse, you talked to Frank to tank on that one because I'm going. After last night, one of my fantasy leagues got auto-picked. And I looked at my auto-pick. And I wanted to cry last night because I was working. I did not have time to pick that league. I get home. I mean, I did get Joe Burrows. Come on, for a QB. I couldn't really much complain about that. But when I had to go look for a backup, Jordan Love was still available. When I went to go do a backup and drop a running back and a wide receiver. So that tells me a lot, guys. That tells me a lot about our opening week next week in Chicago when people are not even picking Jordan Love and I have to sit there and put him on waivers because all the rest of the QBs suck. Just saying.
I have a hot take about that. And I'm not have a hot take about Jordan Love that Bears fans are not going to like, but I'm a very transparent. I'm a Bears fan, but I'm also a football fan. So if I see someone who's not on the Bears who I think is going to be good, I'm going to say it just because I can't lie about football. That's my thing. I could be in denial sometimes, but I'm definitely not going to lie about football. So yes, we did all that. 15 minutes in. Do we have word? Okay. Do we have word? I'm going to ask this because I don't have time to message T-Nick. T-Nick, do we have our other co-host on yet? Is he queued up to go so I can properly introduce him? Can I get a yay or a nay? Just send me a message, T-Nick. I know I can message I'm doing him real quick. If you can. So
let me know. Cut my camera. Let me message him. Hold on. So you're gonna run this here by a little bit. You're good at talking your stuff. I'm gonna cut my mic, my camera, and I'm gonna message him. I'll be right back.
Okay. I think I got the answer actually already. Okay, so guys, I gotta put my baby little one in here because he's the rambunctious terrorist of my home. So, and there's a lot going on in the Muhammad household tonight, or as I should say, the coach chef household tonight. So yeah, that's the synopsis of what we're going to be bringing you every Thursday, hopefully at an earlier time. We're going to break down last week's game, current week game, and Sunday you can tune in for about a 30-minute show, just an update on what who the Bears are playing, any guys who are injured who won't be playing, guys who are healthy who are going to be playing, an update of who we're going to be playing this week, and that'll be Brooke and Easy. Easy typically runs Easy does it runs the show on Thursday. Typically, it would be Thursday tonight, but I think he's going to do Fridays from now on. He's going to move some things logistically out of the way, and that's what we're going to do. So tune in Tuesday for Chicago Clubhouse Network on Tuesday. Wednesday, Wednesday we have our show, She Said What She Said. Thursday with us. Friday with Easy. Sunday morning with Brooke and Easy. And that's what we're going to do. And any other news, we're always going to update you. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us on YouTube. Follow us on Twitter. Those where you get to updates. Make sure to definitely like us on YouTube. We need help from the algorithm. Our anniversary for Chicago Clubhouse Network is coming up on the 6th of September. So it'll be 3 years since T-Nick started all of this. And I've been so grateful to be a part of the family. So Bears, off season. I'm going to get it kick-started because I know we're already almost 20 minutes in and we haven't talked enough Bears yet. The Bears finished last year on a 10-game losing streak, which was awful. It was complete foobar, but we all got the notion that they were kind of, in a sense, tanking, but without tanking. So, like, they weren't trying to tank, but they were trying. They traded away big defensive pieces, and we started the season not very good. We, for several weeks in the middle of that 10-game losing streak, we had big weeks of averaging over 30 points. Our QB1, Justin Fields, he ran for 1,000 yards last season, hopefully not this season. And we ended with everyone being really down on the season, but kind of hopeful with a sparkling eye. This year, we come in with the same coaching staff, same OC, same defense coordinator, same head coach, same GM. We do have a new president, former Big Ten commissioner. His name misses me right now, but he's our new president. He took the president job role. Also, so the last time you saw me, like I said, we were talking about the DJ Moore trade. Me and Easy were ecstatic. A lot of us are ecstatic. I believe he's a legit number one receiver. I believe he's a top 10 to 15 wide receiver in the NFL. I think his yards after catch are amazing. He's going to make things easier for Justin Fields. He's going to make things easier for Darnell Mooney and much easier for the entire offense by having a guy who can catch the ball and go 0 to 100 real quick, just like he did in the preseason game, just like he did in preseason game 1 by taking the screen 65, just like he turned the middle. I saw the highlight of him catching the ball over the middle by Justin in preseason game 3 versus the Bills and taking that 40-some-odd yards. Our expectations will be slightly higher than they were last year with legit number one bona fide NFL top 10 to 15 wide receiver. Brooke, how we looking?
I was kind of in the thing of messaging our other co-host and seeing what was going on. What were we recapping?
Off season. Kevin Warren is our new president. That's the name I was missing. Right now, we're just talking a little off season. I recap some things about how we finished last year in 10-game losing streak, how the organization seemed to be somewhat tanking without truly tanking. They just started a bunch of bums, but they were trading away high-powered defensive players. Our defense dropped off a cliff last year. Then I was bringing up the off season. I talked about how we have the same OC of this year, former Bears quarterback coach. We have the same DC for this year. We have the same head coach. Obviously, we have the same GM. We have the new president of the Bears, and Kevin Warren. And then right now we're talking about I just brought up the off season with the big trade, trading our number one pick to the Panthers we dropped out in the draft, and we also got DJ Moore, bona fide top 10 to 15 receiver. And as well as for the fact that we're all hoping, since we did trade it to the Panthers and we're going to get their number one pick this year, we're hoping the Panthers are going to be bad this year, because the worse they are, the better pick we get. The better pick we get, by the worse they are. So I hope that the former Alabama quarterback for them, I hope they suck ass. I hope they go 0-16. Because if they go 0-16, the Bears end up with 2 picks in the first round. One will If they have the worst record, we'll guaranteedly be the number one pick. And then however we finish, I predict will be probably between 10 and 12. But I'll bring that out later. We had an off season. We had an off season with some big free agent signings. Well, we had some solid off season signings. We got some defensive ends. We got some O-line help with the draft. We had a solid draft. So
we had a good draft.
Yes, we did.
But like you said, last year they tanked the Bears without tanking the Bears.
Right.
They truly tanked the Bears. You get rid of Mack, you get rid of Quinn, you get rid of Smith. Our defense was holding people. And if you sit there and look at last year on our scoring, and if we had a truly good defense and you left those players in, we would have won more than 3 freaking games.
But I guess it's all.
I'm just gonna say this, but I am glad we have Brisker. Oh, and see, this is what I love when I don't have any of my stuff set up because I've been packing for Chicago for next week, so I'm kind of doing this out in my she shed.
Working out the kinks today.
Working out of my drinking shed. Literally working out of my drinking shed tonight. But I see a lot out of Sanborn. We still got Jackson, Brisker, Gordon. We still have a great young defense that is going to come up to the line. So this year, I'm hoping they produce. But we did get rid of a lot of key players that kind of tanked our defense last year. So the Monsters of the Midway hit a low point. I'm hoping we bring that back.
I agree. So we had some big free agent signings. Unfortunately, some of our semi-free agent signings are no longer with the team. We did sign a backup quarterback who we thought would fit perfectly as a backup because he has similar traits to Justin Fields: athletic, mobile, good arm, former Panther with PJ Walker. Also, he played the Panthers last year. He also played in the XFL 2020 version, but he's no longer with the team. We signed a backup running back, Deontay Foreman, former Panther as well, who had a great second half after he was traded to after McCaffrey was traded. After McCaffrey was traded to the 49ers, he had a big season, almost had 1,000 yards, and he didn't even start a full season. So he's kind of a more power downhill runner. Who else we get? Any notable names? We got Robert Tonyan, tight end, to be our tight end 2.
Actually,
he's a good pass catcher. What? I say that wrong?
I'm going to question that. Okay, and I kind of brought this up to you earlier. You look at Instagram on how Chicago Bears and even on Facebook, Chicago Bears listed their players. This was the 53-man roster. This is who we're keeping. Mm-hmm. They got Justin Fields. Don't even ask me to pronounce his name because it's like a French name, and I always do it wrong because you already know me when we talked about this earlier. I love the kid. He is fucking awesome. I already said it last Saturday when I kind of caught some of the stuff and I was working a bridal shower because I didn't get to sit at home and watch preseason. I was actually at the bar at 11 a.m. And he's been balling out all preseason. So I'm kind of glad he's our number 2. He's outproduced PJ by far. So I'm glad PJ's gone. We got him in as number 2. But when I started looking at the list and the way the Bears have it listed,
they're
listed as number 3. I think it's listed as number 3 on our tight end. Tonyan is listed as 1. You look at our wide receivers. Even Darnell Mooney, who is apparently number 1, is listed as 3. It goes DJ Moore, Claypool, Mooney, and this is all based off Bears.
He's no longer our number 1. That's obvious when they make the trade. I will say that.
So did Chicago kind of let it slip of who their number 1s are? To be honest, when they did this, because when they post stuff on Chicago Bears, Instagram, Chicago Bears, Facebook page, that is Chicago Bears. That is the company themselves posting
I
them.
don't think.
And if you
I
look at
still
their
don't think
wide
that the
receivers,
Bears
their
are the
tight
best.
ends, they have them listed.
I personally just don't think they're the best all the time with their social media presence. Sometimes you have to go to other sources, unfortunately. The Brad Biggs of the world on Twitter, guys who are kind of the insiders and the local columnists and stuff, or columnists or whatever you want to call it. It's not 1960s for the Bears. I don't think, in my opinion, I don't think that Cole Kmet is not tight end number one. I think he's obviously tight end number one. We signed Mercedes Lewis, another former Packer, but a guy who is my age. I remember Mercedes Lewis. I believe Mercedes Lewis came out of high school when I did in 2003, and he's still in the NFL. And if you go to Football Reference, there's not a lot of guys from the 2007 draft class. If you were in the 2007 draft class, that means if you spent 4 years in college, that means you graduated high school in 2003. There's not a lot of those guys still in the NFL because that's 20 years ago. I just had my 20-year class reunion in June. So there's not a lot of guys who are in the league now who graduated high school in '03 and then graduated college in '07. So he's on our team as our tight end 3. He knows the Packers offense, or he knows the offense that our OC runs. So we have more veteran leadership. Also, he's an outstanding blocker, along with our tight end 1, Cole Kmet. What other offseason major moves? Our draft.
Picked up Taylor.
Yeah,
Taylor.
I was about to jump into that. We picked up a rookie wide receiver from Tyler Scott. So let's go over the draft picks. I'm just going to go in from first round and number them, and Brooke is going to chime in as we go. Okay. So first pick overall, when we dropped down to 10, when we traded with the Panthers, we dropped down to number 10. We got Darnell Wright, the right tackle from Tennessee. Projected he will be our right tackle starting as long as he's healthy. In the second round, 53rd pick, we got JaVale Dexter, the second, I believe. I think he's the second, or junior, senior, whatever, from Florida, a D tackle. We got the outstanding athletic, physical cornerback from Miami, also in the second round at pick 56, Tyreek Stevenson, who's been showing out. I believe he's our CB2 because Kyler will be playing a lot of slots, since most teams play about 60% of offense with 3 receiver sets anyway. In the third round, 64th pick, we got Zach Pickens from South Carolina, another D tackle. In the fourth round, we got a guy who I thought was one of the underdogs in the draft. Not underdog. I hate saying the word underdog. I thought he was less heralded. He was a less heralded running back, the backup for Bijan Robinson, and Roshan Johnson, a former high school quarterback who played running back as a backup to Bijan for 3 years. He is slotted as our running back 3. We got him from Texas. He's a 3-down type of back, and he's young. He has speed. He has power. He can block. So he's being coached up. Right after that, we got Brooks, a guy from Cincinnati, a speed demon named Tyler Scott, obviously. Then we went to the Pac-12, which will no longer exist if you're a college football fan. We got Noah Sewell, who has family in the NFL. His brother plays for the Detroit Lions. That's my little one coughing and being a terrorist once again. We also have Terrell Smith, a cornerback from Minnesota, who was competing with Tyreek Stevenson for CB2. We have Travis Bell and Kendall Williamson, a D tackle from Kennesaw State, and Stanford cornerback, who both unfortunately were cut, but I believe we signed them to the practice squad most recently. But they had a lot of potential. In fact, Travis Bell was, from what I've heard, because I didn't see any preseason games, unfortunately, a lot of logistic things on my end, was balling out in the preseason games and in practice. So that's our draft picks. Do you have anything for that, or did I go too fast? I was trying to slow down.
No, you're good. You're my facts and stats, man. I just here for the stuff and bitch about the things I don't like.
Okay, that's cool. Hey, that's what makes this dynamic amazing. Do you have any favorites in that draft class? I know you mentioned Scott, the speed guy from Cincinnati, the speed guy, little speed guy who played running back in high school. He's also a football historian. The big thing in camp and when we drafted him was that he tells stories about how his dad used to make him watch, he used to watch with his dad old school football films. So he knows all about Bears history with Walter Payton and Dick Butkus and Gale Sayers. So he's a football historian, a guy after my own heart. So understanding the history of the Bears, even though he's not from Chicago, is amazing. Obviously, he's a pro now, so this is business. But having a guy who understands a little bit of what the Bears' history of greatness is something that makes fans like Brooke feel good inside, right?
It does, but this year, I'm gonna be honest, the draft class. Sorry, I got a dog out here. I didn't really have anybody stick out. Like when we drafted Herbert and when we drafted Mooney, those guys stuck out to me. There was just a feeling with them, and we haven't really seen them perform. But when I don't know what it was about Herbert when we drafted him that year, and I'm sure if we go on to another podcast that I did, I was a Herbert fan from the time we drafted him. Nobody has stuck out to me this year out of draft that I can sit there and say, I'm going to stand behind this guy. Here we go. And maybe it's just because over the last couple of years with the Bears, the organization, the restructure, I want to see something. I want to see something from our team before now I get good feelings. But Herbert,
I'm gonna slightly
behind the running back as I had when we drafted him. I'm still iffy on our QB. Everybody knows me. This is Fields' third year. When we drafted him, I'm sure that there is something on TikTok. When we drafted him, I was so happy. I was so excited. And I think that's where my point went down in the draft to saying, no.
We're going to get to that. We're going to get to that. We're going to get to that. Don't worry.
So, no, I don't have any good feelings about our draft class right now until I see what they do.
More? Okay. So, the draft is a very hit or miss thing. It's not an exact science, but I see a lot of potential, even though I haven't seen any preseason games. From what I've seen in highlights and what I've heard from other sources on social media, and also reports in camp, Tyreek Stevenson has been amazing. He comes in as a second-round pick of 56th overall. He's coming in. He's going to start. He's going to start over Kyler Gordon, although Kyler Gordon's better at slot. His nickname now is Spider-Man. I don't know if you've seen the highlights with him doing his Spider-Man move. Have you seen the highlights of his vertical when he does the Spider-Man move he does? Yeah. I don't know. T-Nick and Easy, man. We got to get film on Kyler Gordon's Spider-Man jumping poles when he gets a PBU or interception. That kid is uber athletic. I'm liking Javon Dexter. I'm liking Darnell Wright because he's a protected starter. You can't not like a guy who was 10th overall and not just given a job, earned the job at right tackle. I like all our rookies. Even the guys that they cut and they brought back on the 53-man roster. I think this has the potential to be a Bears draft that had 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 guys. 10 guys that actually may play at least. I think this might be the first draft class that the Bears have everyone they drafted play at least a snap in the season. I think we have that potential. And if that happens, that bodes well for the talent that we're garnering in the draft, whether these guys stay on or not. I think it plays well if you're having even your 7th-round picks. We had free agents last year who stepped up and played. So I like this draft class. I actually like last year's draft class too. But I do like this draft. There's no one I look at and like, oh, what are they doing? I don't like this guy. I think all these guys can play. I really do. I think all these guys can play. I'm not expecting them to be stars, but I'm expecting them to contribute. You want your 1st and 2nd round guys to be. The idea is when you draft in the 1st round, you want starters. You want bona fide starters. When you draft in the 2nd and 3rd round, you want guys who are consistent contributors to your team. Whether even if they're not stars, they're third receivers or they're tight ends. Someone who's making that you notice on the field, not balling out as far as being an all-pro guy, but you want them to be a positive influence on your team on the field and in the locker room. And then your late round picks, anything 5, 6, and 7, if you get anything out of those guys, anything is a bonus. So I like the draft. I'm not being biased. I'm just looking from what I've seen, who they drafted, what they did in college, how they looked in camp. I think that all of these guys, you didn't hear any negatives about any of these guys in camp. No negatives. It was always positive, and it was progressive. So I'm a fan of it. So that's
But here's
my
the thing. If each one of them do what you're saying you're doing, then Poles is doing his job of restructuring this team the way it needs to be restructured for us to possibly hit a Super Bowl in the next 5 years. Just saying. So if what you're saying is what you're saying, that means Poles and coach are doing their job restructuring this. And we got to understand, and everybody has to understand, this is a restructured team.
Yes.
New head coach. We're in a year or two of it. We're not going to compete for the Super Bowl, and I hate to say it. As much as I'd love for us to go to it this year, no. It's a progress. Just saying. But if what you just said out of that draft class, that's going to have us go. And then you cut off your stuff.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I'm coming back. I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving. I got to check in. I got to check in with my family. I got my family.
I know. When you do, I hate being the other thing. We ever figure out, is the other co-host coming on?
1 second. Let me just check what messages I've gotten. Blah blah blah. No, that's from Frank.
Because when I check mine, it cuts out my screen.
Okay. I haven't gotten any updates about that. So hey, that's okay. We're knocking out the Kings now. Based on last year's draft picks, I think we have slightly more potential because some of the guys we drafted last year are either no longer on the team, not even on the practice squad, or they finished the year with other players. So obviously, Kyler Gordon was a starter or a slot guy. Jaquan Brisker was our starter. Bayless had a very more down than up season, but I think he's gonna find his way this year. I know they signed a guy. We're going to get into that. They signed a guy to do punts.
Did you just Velvet? You think
I said Bayless. I call the man Bill. I call him Bayless because that's his name. His name is Bayless.
No, it's Velvet. It's Velvet. Did you see him during that preseason? He on a return kick. I am so glad, and I'm kind of curious to see about this new one we just picked up, who is now designated a return
specialist.
Returner. Over Bayless. Velvet.
Everyone can't be great. I mean, think about it. Kyler Gordon didn't have a great rookie season either. He finished strong. So did Bayless. They both finished stronger than they started, and that's what you want from your rookie. He had a touchdown. He had a touchdown. He had a touchdown. He had a touchdown. He did not have a turnover after week 8. There were no turnovers from him by week 8. That shows progress. I'm going to be positive.
Okay. Did we not watch the preseason? Did me and you not watch the preseason here?
I didn't, but I do know. I do know his first game was rough.
And he handed it over.
I do know. Brooke, I do know there was some difficulty in the first game. There were no difficulties in the game, although he was hurt. Dominique Robinson, he's still on the team playing defensive end. Zach Thomas was a guy who got away from us. He actually plays for, I think, the Chargers now. He was a guard out of San Diego State. Tristan Elbner's no longer with the Bears, not even on the practice squad. Doug Kramer, I think he's on IR now, but he initially made the 53-man roster. Hey, this is my guy. This is my guy. Maybe it's my pride, although I'm not a graduate. My pride in HBCUs, historical black colleges, and universities. I can't say his name. Jatari Carter, the backup guard for the Bears. They said he's improved. That was so late. So late. It's okay. Working out those kinks. Jari Carter. Anyway, Carter, the guard from Southern. He got some snaps last year, but I think he'll be a factor as a swing interior guy. He plays right and left guard, predominantly right guard. Elijah Hicks, shout out to Easy, another Elijah. He made the team. He's one of our backup safeties, and we still have Trenton Gill. So both drafts, I think, were very solid. So that's what we did in the offseason with the draft picks and some free agent signings. We also signed a big free agent. I would say he's a big free agent, a guy who has produced in the league Consistently, he's never had a season less than 8 sacks in any given season. And that is, man, I'm scrambling because he has a Nigerian name, so I don't want to mess it up. The defensive end they signed into camp.
QB's last name because it's like a French name, and like I
want
looking at it different. So you're all good. Just go for it. Run with it. Just say it.
Bajan is our QB2 with
the one you don't want to pronounce. Just say it.
As soon as I find his name, I'm going to pronounce it properly.
Just say it. Run with it. Run with it, baby boy.
Come on. I can't find it. Where'd he go? I'm looking at the 53-man roster, and I cannot find.
That's in front of you.
Oh, Yannick Ngakoue. I said it right. I read it. Yannick Ngakoue. Yannick Ngakoue was I would consider him a major major signing.
Say that 3 times in a row.
Yannick Ngakoue.
Fuck.
All right. Okay. So he got signed in the middle of the kind of mid-season-ish. Well, not mid-season, mid-preseason. He got signed. He's a guy who unfortunately has been on a lot of teams because he doesn't rate that highly as a run stopper, but he's a bona fide sack guy. He brings pass rush, and that's what the Bears completely lack. When your rookie safety leads the team in sacks, you need help on the you need help on the pass rush, obviously. So Yannick Ngakoue, just a quick breakdown. He's been in the league 7 seasons. He's never had a season with less than 8 sacks. 8, 12, 9.5, 8, 8, 10, and 9.5 last year with Indianapolis. Oh, Brooke, you going? You coming back? Because I got an update for us. I got a hot update. Oh, I can't check it. Okay.
Sorry, I was reading messages.
I didn't forget Ngakoue. I just wanted to say his name properly. I didn't forget it.
What's your hot update? Because I need this hot update.
Okay, so I think we're ready to bring on our additional co-host. I believe I'm going to just introduce him. And hopefully we got it. So our new co-host and new to the Chicago Clubhouse Podcast Network's family, my man Ant.
Hey, what's up, Shaq? What's up, bro?
Glad to have you on.
Hey, Anthony. I would miss it for the world, man. I'm sorry I'm late. You know what I mean? But hey, I'm here.
All right.
That's why we're doing this. That's why we're doing this right now, because we got to get the kinks out. So my man Anthony Stewart is our newest co-host and newest family member to the Chicago Clubhouse Network's Chicago Clubhouse Network podcast network.
Clubhouse.
I said this, man. I messed it up. I was going with the dust.
No sprinkling the dust. CCP.
That's right.
CCP Network. So to the family, welcome. Since you missed out a little bit, I want to go ahead. We kind of riffing right now, but we're kind of on schedule, but not. I'm gonna let you introduce yourself personally, what people should call you, and go ahead.
Hey, well, check this out. First and foremost, I've been a fan of Chicago Clubhouse podcasts from long as I can remember. Also, I've been a fan of football since 1975. So not only do I love our beloved Bears, I love the game of football. And so anytime I can get a chance to chop it up, be it about the Bears or be it about trades or any other thing, I'm there, man. It's an honor to be here, man. Actually, it's just an honor to be here because like I said, I love the game of football. I've been a diehard Chicago Bears fan since 1975. You know what I mean?
You remember the Walter Payton years?
Oh, absolutely. I remember when they first drafted him, man. Yeah, I remember when they first drafted him. And he had
76?
No, 75. 75. Bob Avellini. Yeah, you missed about that much. But yeah, Bob Avellini was the quarterback. Yeah,
Ooh.
yeah.
Ooh.
And it was Peyton left, Peyton right, Peyton up the middle. I mean, from his rookie year, you know, I mean, just seeing that. So when people start talking about the GOAT, you know what I'm saying? Was it Emmitt Smith or was it Barry Sanders? I'm like, I watched the GOAT for real, for real. You know what I'm saying? So
He
yeah.
still has the top of single season. Well, at this point, since it's 2023, I think he still holds one of the top 15 single rushing seasons in NFL history with over 1,800 yards.
Mm-hmm. He does.
Was that 70?
218 yards against Minnesota.
Oh, not the single game. The single game was broken. The single game record was broken.
Okay.
But I'm talking about the single season. Single season, he put up 1,800 plus yards rushing. And I want to say it had to be 79. Oh, what was it? 77. Listen again.
Like 70. That had to be like 76 because that's 77. When he really broke out. 76 or 77.
1852. Mm-hmm. So I do know he's still one of the top. He's still. I think at this point is probably because we've had several 2,000-yard rushes. We've had. I think my man from the young guy from the Colts. He put up 1,800 yards a couple of years ago. But Walter Payton still, I believe, is top 15 in single season rushing for a season with 1,852. Also, obviously, he's top 5 in rushing.
You know your stuff, Chef. I like that, baby. I like that.
I'm the stat and coach guy, man. I watch the film. I watch the stats. I bring them together. Like we've always had analytics in sports, but how they're doing it now, I don't like. You take you take the numbers, you take the film, you take the personality, and that's how you team. You can't just build it with numbers. You got to build it with personality, tape, and with numbers. Now. And welcome to the family.
Thank you.
You've missed 40-something minutes, but that's okay. Me and Brooke were just breaking down the end of last season, the horrible 10-game losing streak. The what is it called? I'm going to call it the. I hate the word. The word I hate in football is tanking because I know that football is an inherently dangerous sport, and the word tanking is extremely dangerous. This isn't baseball. This isn't basketball. You can't openly use the word tanking, and you can't tell players you're tanking because these guys' livelihoods are on the line. We saw it from a player last year who plays with the Bills. You can't tell guys that they're tanking. That's not inherently in us as football players. You can't say that. So I'm going to say they were tanking. They were willingly losing. I'm going to say they were willingly losing for their first pick. And with the first pick, they traded 1 to 10 to the Panthers. We got DJ Moore, who unfortunately has literally more receiving yards in his career at this point than any Bears receiver in history, which means that if he was a Bear from his rookie year and put up these same numbers, he'd be the all-time Bears leading receiver. And he's not 28 years old yet.
That is true.
We got him. I broke that down. We got him in a trade. We signed some other guys, some other small free agents. Some of them with the team still, like PJ Walker. Some still with the team, like the running back, Deontay Foreman. We also had a big draft class. And since you're on now, out of the guys who were drafted, I'm just going to rail them out real fast. Darnell Wright, Dexter, Stevenson, Pickens, Johnson, Scott, Noah Sewell, Smith, Bell, and Williamson. Did anyone pique your interest in the preseason games or from what you heard about what they were doing in camp? Anyone who you're looking forward to see? Obviously, we're looking forward to see our right tackle, but any of the other guys you can't wait to see on the field when the bullets start flying in a week.
You know what, Coach Jeff, man? Stevenson. I know the kid has made some mistakes, but that range and that fire in him to separate man from ball, you know, he's gotten a couple of calls, but he's also made some real. I really like that kid. I really like the kid. And I also like Sewell. undrafted, the low draft pick. I like him. But what I'm thinking about is like I have yet to see in preseason all those linebackers play as a unit. I see what the secondary. I see what they're trying to do in that secondary. You know what I mean? And I like that. And
we've had a lot of injuries. We've had a lot of injuries in camp. I don't think any of the projected groups have all played together except for not even all the receivers played together. All the running backs have. The DBs played early because the last week or two, Jackson and Jaquan, they were both injured, or they had nicks and bruises, so they weren't playing. But we have yet to see a full 11 starters, projected starters that everyone believes are going to start. We haven't seen them in full action. So we've still got room to grow. You said you wanted to see Noah Sewell, whose brother plays with the Lions.
And Dexter. I like him.
Obviously, Tariq Stevenson is a guy who didn't look good in what they say in shorts and t-shirts, but they said because of his physicality, he looked a lot better when the pass came on and when the game. And that's what you want. You want guys who are going to show up when the pass are on. I do know he had in the third preseason, and we're going to get to that breakdown soon. Brooks had to take care of some personal business, so she'll be back with us soon. So me and you, Hank, we can chop it up.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to see all these guys, but the guy who I can't wait to see. I can't wait to see both tackles because we had a problem with pass rush last year. Huge problem. I think that was the biggest problem. I think our pass rush was a bigger issue than our pass blocking or run blocking. Obviously, we led the league in rushing, and although we didn't lead the league in sacks, but obviously the pass blocking was an issue. I want to see how those rookies are doing. I'm not expecting them to be great, but I'm expecting their snaps to progress every week. I'm expecting them to put some pressure or to fit in that pocket in the middle. That way, our guy Yannick Ngakoue and our other DNs can get some pass rush. So that's who I'm looking forward to see. As a career guy on the edge, I think transitioning from wide receiver is going to be tough. So Tyler Scott's been having some up and down in camp. Obviously, the right tackle I want to see from, but I want to see we got to have pass rush. If the defense is going to work, if that cover two is going to work, the cover two is going to work, you need pass rush because we're not a blitzing team. So that means you got to get pressure with four. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking forward to see how these snaps are going to go with the rookies along with the veterans like Justin Jones are going to go. So those were the draft picks. That's your opinion on draft picks. Do you have anything else you want to add in about any of the draft picks this year?
No, I just wanna talk about just a little bit about that front four. What I saw. None too pleased, man. I don't know if it's Williams, the defensive coordinator. You know what I'm saying? Or have they just not gelled? But as far as stopping the run, Josh Allen, man, chopped them up, man. And without that pass rush, without that front four, that secondary, you know what I mean? Because the linebackers haven't played together. That was the first time they played that Saturday together. But that secondary has been stout. But that front four, man, the way they was running up the middle like that. And I know, as you stated, those are rookies. Those are rookies, man. I don't know if that was Williams not wanting to show what they were gonna do, but the front four is the front four. It's a 4-3 defense, so you know what I'm saying. You got to be able to stop the run, and then I'm a segue over to the O line when Fields was in there, man. And I know we have a lot of injuries, man. And now my concern is, just has Field really grown? Because I think in the preseason, it's just a question. I seen him in the preseason throw deep twice. Now the reporters have been saying he's lighting it up in camp, like he's dropping dimes on DJ Moore, man. But I haven't seen it. What I have seen is I've seen those happy feet again, And don't get me wrong, I am a diehard J1 fan. From the time they drafted him, and when they was talking about he's a running quarterback who can't throw, I'm like, no. He's a quarterback that runs. I've always said that. But when I'm looking in the preseason, I'm like, man, is it the line? Is it the line that he has happy feet? You know what I'm saying? And why hasn't he gone deep? Why hasn't he gone deep? He had DJ Moore out there. He had his number one target out there. Why hasn't he gone deep? He threw two curl routes. He threw two curl routes. One curl, one screen. Right? DJ Moore had to scoop that up. Had to scoop that off the ground. I think he got 60-some on that. And then who was it? Was it Khalil Herbert? He threw the screen to, and both of them took him to the house. But the pass was neither one of those passes were like.
Before we get to that, we're going to get to the preseason game.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
We're building.
Okay.
I'm not trying to stop. I'm not trying to stop the flow. Just we're going to get to the preseason games because
we're getting to this.
Hey, as the only one who watched all three preseason games, I can't lie. I told Brooke early in the show, this is the first time in like a decade I haven't seen every preseason game. I had some logistic stuff at home. I got the NFL Network Pass, but you need to be like an exclusive member to watch the games after they've already aired. So I'm working on that. I'm probably going to binge watch them in the next few days. I've got a week to watch them, to do my breakdown. Yeah, I got to get NFL Plus because I got this thing, but then you got to get Plus.
$6.99 a week. I should be advertising for them, but I have NFL
no,
Plus.
it's like
but
it's a little more.
Time to watch my shit.
As we were talking about things we're looking for, you mentioned the pass rush. You mentioned the front four. I think that's going to be a major thing with DeMarcus Walker and Yannick Ngakoue. Those guys. Yannick has not seen any preseason action because he's a veteran, but he's a bona fide pass rusher. Like I said earlier, he's never had a season with anything less than 8 sacks in a season. So you know he can get to the pass rush. He's consistent. Not the best run stopper. I think, like you mentioned, the front four and stopping the run, I think that's a byproduct of a couple things in the third preseason game. I didn't watch it, but from what I've heard and the highlights I've seen, Josh Allen is still an all-pro caliber quarterback. He's a veteran at this point. He's a MVP candidate. So guys like that are going to get theirs because that's what they do. I'm not excusing it. I'm just saying you have a younger transitioning team, especially defensive-wise, with a lot of new pieces, young pieces, and free agents. They're not going to – I didn't expect them to look great. Now, like I said, I haven't seen the game, but when people say, oh, Josh Allen was carving them up, he's going to carve up. In the 17-week season, he's going to carve up 14 to 15 weeks a year. He's going to carve up every team. So that's all I'm going to say about that. I'm not excusing. I'm just saying when you have a great player and he's considered a great quarterback, a top 10 quarterback, top 7-ish, top 5 for some people, top 3 for others, they're going to get busy. Those guys are going to get busy. With that being said, I just want to slide it from the draft picks to, like we were talking about preseason. We're going to merge into the preseason. We're going to merge into each game a little bit. We're going to get a quick synopsis from what you saw. In fact, we're going to let you spin. We're going to let Boofy spin. We're going to let Ant spin a little bit since you watched every preseason game. And then me and Brooke, if you don't mind, Brooke, we're going to chime in a little bit. You said you watched a little bit of preseason, but not. I haven't watched any preseason but highlights. I'm not going to lie. A lot of things been going on for me. No excuse, but I haven't done it. First time in 10 years, I haven't seen not one full preseason game. So the first preseason game was versus. I can't remember now. That's sad. I know game 2 was Indianapolis and game 3 was Buffalo, but game 1 Titans, yes, Tennessee. So Ant, can you? We're already at about an hour. Can you give us? I'm going to ask this question. Give me 3 things you like from the first preseason game. Either 3 things or 3 players you like. 3 things or 3 players you didn't like in that game, and we'll talk about those Justin Fields being hot, but those we'll get into how he got those yards, the yard after catch. We'll get into that. So from the first game versus the Titans, give me either 3 things or 3 players on the Bears that you liked.
3 players that I liked. Or the rookie from Texas.
You can mix them up. It doesn't matter.
I'll mix it up. The first player that I really liked in that first game was the rookie from Texas. The running back. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Rashawn Johnson. Okay. I like the way he runs. He reminds me of somebody. I'm not going to even say it because other people say this. I go back. So I see him like that, the downhill runner. I love that in that first game. Okay. I also like the way Stevenson, you know what I'm saying? He got two calls on him in that game. I think it was pass interference and holding. But he was a straight ball hawk. I mean, like you can literally put this kid on an island because of his range and his fluid hips. You know what I'm saying? He can make plays. That's the second thing I like. And most importantly, I like Bijan. Beget. I like him.
Oh, the onside free agent out of the D2 school. Yeah, a lot of people like,
school, yeah.
I'm,
you know, and
I'm slightly skeptical, but he did. Everyone said he called out.
I'm not saying that he's a number 2. I'm not saying he's a number 2. He should be number 2 behind JF1. I'm not saying that. I said I like the way he played. I like his poise.
Gotcha.
I like his poise for him to be from a Division II school, you know, and then come to the NFL, you know what I'm saying, and get behind center and be that poised. I haven't seen that in a quarterback in a long time, a rookie quarterback. And like again, I say I'm not looking for him to be QB2. I just like his poise. You know, that's what stood out. So when you watch the games, Chef, watch his poise, man. That's what stood out to me in that first game. Those are the 3 things.
Okay. 3 things, 3 people. Give me 3 things or 3 people that you didn't enjoy about watching the first preseason game versus the Titans.
That I did not enjoy?
Yes, sir.
Versus PJ Walker. I feel because he's a veteran, man. This is the same cat that led Carolina to 4 victories last year. You know what I mean? So I've watched PJ Walker for a minute now. You know what I mean? So I know he can play, but I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was the Bears system, it's the scheme, or what. But he literally outplayed himself out of a job. I didn't. Literally. You know what I'm saying?
That is a fact. He literally played himself out of a job. He even actually. There's a quote that says that he understands that this is business, and if you don't perform, make the team. So no hard feelings. It is what it is. I thought he was. I don't say it was perfect. I just thought it was a good idea for them to have a guy as a backup who has a similar skill set to QB1. So that's one. PJ Walker. What's your second thing or person that you didn't enjoy about the first preseason?
The second one was Tevin Jenkins, man. Man, you know what I'm saying? And check it out. I'm a church going man. I don't use any profanity, anything like that. You know, but Tevin Jenkins, I was really, really disappointed, man. Again. And I know injuries happen in the NFL, but man, this guy is like a crucial part to this puzzle to keeping JF1 upright.
I agree.
So I was disappointed. I won't say I didn't like it. I was disappointed that he got hurt. Okay. Right. And then we go to the linebackers. I don't like
they met the group for first game.
No. The one whose place Sewell's about to take.
What's the Jack Sanborn? You talking about the lunch pill guy, Jack Sanborn?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I make the prediction right now that like by game 5, Sewell will be starting in that position.
So there was some controversy
because of injury. I've never. As a Mike, yes, he played his heart out as the Mike. But on the outside, no, that's not his position.
Yeah,
so
I got some controversial things to say about him. How do you feel about Jack Sanborn, Brooke?
I'm sorry. Did you not watch Sanborn last year? Sanborn is a fucking beast. That boy is our new monster of the fucking Midway. I'm sorry. Sanborn has produced time and fucking time again, and that boy will keep producing. This is preseason. He didn't play very much in preseason.
He was battling some injuries.
Last year, that boy's a fucking beast, and that boy's going to tear it down to the house. My feelings on Sanborn, that motherfucking staying. Just saying.
Okay, Brooke, I got you.
I mean, that's my woman's point of view.
Oh, hey, no, don't do that. Don't do that. We've got a lot of things in this world. We're not going to make this a woman's point of view on sports. It's your opinion.
But you know how it is. I am not.
your
But-
opinion as a Bears fan.
Coach,
Sex is not relevant in that. Sex
Coach,
is your
Coach.
sexual orientation, what you
I
label
know.
yourself,
but hey,
is not relevant. You are a Bears fan.
stop.
That's right.
But I don't have the facts and stats because I don't care about the facts and stats. We've always known that about me. I will tell you what I see, what these players do on the field, how they bring it, and that's how it comes across. Because us women, we love watching our football. I will jump off the fucking couch. If I get pissed off at play, I will throw a pillow at my TV. Don't worry, I'm not going to bust my TV because I'm not those crazy Vikings fans or Packer fans. I'm not going to burn my jersey if we lost a game. But I am one of those crazy ass bitches. I will jump off the couch because it was a great motherfucking play. I will yell and scream. If a play sucks, I will literally throw a fucking pillow at my TV. You all know me. But fucking Sanborn, that bitch,
Look,
he
I don't
brought
know.
it last year and he's going to bring it again.
He
Just
did.
saying.
He played very well. He played very well
Woman's
last
point of view
year.
without facts and stats.
Bears
From a
fan
woman
point of view,
calling
not a
it
woman.
because
Just
we
a
have
Bears fan.
women
Just a Bears fan.
watching who
Just a
don't
Bears fan.
You fucking
Okay.
know that.
Okay.
We love
This
me.
is my opinion on Jack Sanborn. I said it in a lot of groups that I was in. When they signed him as a free agent, unsigned free agent, I was a huge fan of it because I thought you needed a guy who played in Wisconsin, which means that he knows how to play football. You play linebacker in Wisconsin, you know how to play defense. You know how to tackle. Huge fan of it. I thought he'd be, my opinion, I thought he'd be a great backup, great support. I thought he'd be a solid backup, and I thought he'd be an extraordinary special teams guy. Now, he gets the start because we trade away a top 2 linebacker in the NFL. Don't care what anyone says. He's a top 2 linebacker. Trade him to the Ravens, and he becomes a starter. And what I saw from the fan base, from every group that I'm in, they seem to want to anoint this young man as the next thing, the greatest thing that the Bears have ever suited up. Now, I thought there was some slightly inherent bias from a certain group of people who are Bears fans. I'm not including you, Brooke. I'm not including you because he did lead the team in tackles. He was averaging, I think the average at one point was he was averaging more tackles per game than when Roquan went to the Ravens. Although it's a different system, he was backing up 3-4, which he's familiar with, which he's comfortable in. I believe, based on the film I saw and the games I watched, I believe he was a very good linebacker based on what he was given in front of him. He wasn't given a good pass rush. The Bears defense was atrocious at the end of the season, and he got to run around and make tackles. Now, with that being said, that does not make him a great linebacker.
He got to run around and make tackles. Love that.
There's nothing wrong with it. I didn't say anything was wrong with it, but there was a certain demographic of Bears fans who acted like that guy was the next coming of Brian Urlacher. They did. I'm not going to say what that demographic looked like or act like, but I'm going to say there was a large demographic, and I'm in a lot of groups, a lot of Bears groups, but they were anointing this young man, and I didn't like it because it was skewing very suspiciously. I'm not saying so. I like the kid. I liked him the moment they got him. I was like, yo, Jack Sanborn, I knew he was going to make the team. I thought he would make the team as a backup linebacker, but especially a special teams guy. I think that's his role in the NFL. Bears fans felt the same way about Nick Kwiatkowski, the Wisconsin linebacker who they had in the mid rounds about 8 years ago.
Number 44. Right. Yep.
And when he played, there was an issue. There was an issue with his what? With his speed. With his speed. And it was a problem with him in coverage. Right. And it was an issue with his coverage. Jack has the same issue. Now, I think Jack's a better tackler. I think he has better instincts than Kwiatkowski. And Kwiatkowski was drafted. When Kwiatkowski went to the Raiders, he turned into be he was the guy he was.
They made him a captain. They made him a captain with the Raiders.
I didn't say that was a bad thing. I'm just saying that he's not a guy you build your linebacker crew around. He's a guy who might have been better in the 90s. Actually, Jack Sanborn's a guy who might have been better in the 90s.
That's what I said. That's what I said, Coach. I'm saying when he played, once we traded Roquan Smith, once we got rid of Roquan Smith, and he played that Mike, he was all over the place. He was all over the place. I mean, but that's what he's supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? But when they put him on the outside this year, and I seen him on the outside, I'm like, hey, I heard, man, my family members were calling him Baby Urlacher last year. And I was like, yeah, this kid, he's balling out. He's balling out, but don't use them two names in the same
Now,
sentence. You know what I'm saying?
I'm going to say this, which is a little controversial. I've been kind of going around what I wanted to say about Jack Sanborn and the group of fans that liked him. I'm surprised that your family, I'm assuming they prescribe to a different form of football and athleticism than what he was doing. I'm just saying that I was happy he was balling out, but I was not prescribing that he was going to be a future starter. There were people who saying, "Oh, Jack Sanborn,
Right.
he's going to be the future Bears middle linebacker for the next decade." I was like, look, this is a bad defense, and he's getting to run around, but I don't think he's the middle linebacker that fits the 4-3 cover 2 because of his lack of
speed and
ability to
range.
move in space.
Speed
Yes,
and range.
you need a linebacker like the one we signed. Edmonds, you need a guy who's athletic,
Mm-hmm.
still smart, but also rangy, who can play the passing lane. And Jack's not that guy. Yes, he had an interception, but I'm just saying he's not a 17-game starter. That was my point. Yeah. And people calling me a hater, and that's cool. I have a lot of teams on a lot of Bears players. I just don't think that Jack Sanborn, if he has to start 2, 3, 4 weeks, great. I think that if he starts 3, 4 weeks at the mic, I think that you have a solid backup. But if he has to start 17 games, and I don't care if it's at
because we can't pay the strong. We don't know. I'm sorry. That's the opposite. I said the complete.
Can't hear you.
Oh.
Nick, can't hear you. Can't hear you. Look like we're having technical difficulties. Can't hear you. Chef, I can't hear you. Can't hear you. Nope, can't hear you. Check your mic. Can you hear me?
Uh-oh. Think we're in trouble.
There you go. Now I can hear you. Now you can hear me. Couldn't hear what you were saying.
Okay, I think my Bluetooth earset went out. That's what I think just happened.
Okay. You were in the middle of saying you were saying how he's a good plug and play guy. You know, it when needed. And that's when they went out.
Okay. Oh, that's the baby. If anyone heard that. I just don't think he's an everyday starter. I don't think you can start that guy at any of the linebacker positions for 17 weeks. And I don't think that our defense is going to be at its best if you start that guy for 17 weeks. I think he's a key backup. I think he's a great special teams guy. I do expect Noah Sewell, like you said, to take his job. Now, with that being said, we've got to move on because we're pushing on time. That was the first pregame versus Tennessee. Now, the second game was versus Indianapolis. And once again, Brooke, you still with us?
Yeah.
Man, the third camera is a little wacky. Am I getting jumping around? Do you see that too?
It's making me dizzy, bro.
Okay.
Is it jumping for you, bro?
I have a tripod. I have been trying to pass.
I'm messing with you, bro. I'm just messing with you. But you are making me dizzy.
Working. So yes, my camera.
Hey, do this, Brooke. Hey, do this. Cut the camera and just see if we'll make sure we can get the visual. Just because it is a little spotty. Okay. And then I'm having logistics issue because I don't have my earbuds in right now because I think my wireless just did me in. Okay. So the second preseason game was versus Indianapolis. Ant, can you give us the three things you liked or the three people you liked, and then give us 3 players or 3 things you didn't like from the Indianapolis game?
What I liked, Rashawn Johnson again. I like Stevenson again, and then I like Dexter. On that line, and that after playing with them for what they played with them for, they practiced for a few days with them, and then to come out and ball out like that, you know, I like that, man. I like that. But I didn't like. He's no longer here, so it's not even relevant. PJ Walker.
Okay.
I didn't like. I like Scott. I like Scott. I just don't think he's the punt returner, and that's why they signed the cat today. But you're gonna get into that. That's why they signed the cat from Cincinnati today. But I didn't like the fact, man. I love his speed. I know he definitely gonna make the team, be it a gunner on special teams or whatever. But right now he's not ready to be that every day punt returner, kickoff returner. He's not. He doesn't have the hands or the heart. You know what I mean? Those are two things I didn't like. And the third thing I didn't like I know it's preseason, man, but those calls by Getsy, man,
I think that's inherent. I think the play calling by Getsy is inherent for most offensive coordinators in the preseason. Very vanilla, very bland, not trying to show my hand. I thought it was a mistake not starting Justin or not playing him. I think, although I think the from what I've heard, what I've seen from social media and some different outlets, I think because they had joint practice with Indianapolis that week. I think because he played well in those joint practices, they thought he was good to not play in the game. I think if he would have struggled or been kind of meh in the practices, the joint practices, he would have played. But since the coaching staff believed that he was playing
lighting it up,
like if he was lighting it up in those, and that you're going against another team now, it is practice, but you're going against people you haven't seen before. Right. Since he was lighting it up versus Indianapolis in those joint practices, I think that's why they didn't start him. Brooke, did you catch any of the Indy game?
I did catch some of the Indy game. But wait a minute. I'm trying to think because you got to figure working the bar, driving to work, everything else. Was the Indy game where we had a turnover because Velvet dropped the fucking ball?
No, that was the first game.
No, that was the first.
That was game one. That was game one.
That
was game one. Because I knew you was about to turn up about Bayless.
Okay, so then the Indy game I really didn't catch much of.
The Indy game from the highlights I saw is the game where people truly jumped on the Tyson Bagent fan bus. That was the game. He had the rushing touchdown. He actually was the second. He was the second quarterback on the field. After PJ Walker, he was the second quarterback, not Peterman. He was the second quarterback to take snaps, and everyone said he was impressive. So I do know that that's been an ongoing thing with him. And did you give us the three? You already gave us the three things you didn't like. It was PJ Walker.
I did.
PJ Walker.
Getsy's
play calling.
Yeah. And what is it? I forgot what I said, bro.
That's okay.
That's what I said, yeah, but
that's cool.
Let me see.
That's cool.
Gets. I think I said the play calling. Yeah, the play calling. Yeah.
So just in general, okay, no problem. So that was game 2. They didn't win that game, but I don't really put a lot of merit into winning preseason games because you're trying to evaluate talent.
Right.
That's why they play a lot of vanilla stuff. If you play a lot of vanilla stuff, you don't blitz a lot, you don't show a lot. You see where guys are going to be successful or not successful before you start throwing out gimmicks and doing quote unquote fancy stuff, whatever. Okay, game 3 was against the Bills. And same thing. Give me your 3 things or three guys you liked, and then give me 3 things or 3 players you didn't like in the third and concluding preseason game with the Bears and the Bills.
Okay, I'm gonna start with this, man. I'm gonna start with the O-line. I know injuries happen, man. It's hard not, man. It was horrible. They were horrible. And what it took me back to, why I'm concerned. It's not that I didn't like it. I'm concerned. It's plug and play, moving players around, and I'm watching JF1 get the happy feet again. You know what I'm saying? I spoke on that earlier. I did not like that. I did not like the way that O-line looked. I know that's not our starting O-line. I understand that, everyone that's listening. I know that's not our starting line. But it made me question whether JF1 has really grown. You know, and I'm the guy that put money on him, you know, to win the division. You know what I'm saying? I'm the guy that said that, you know, this is the second year under this system. I'm talking about the O-line and JF1. You know, that's those two things. And I like I said, I understand that this is not the starting O-line because we still haven't seen Nate. You know, I'm wondering about him. I'm still wondering about Mooney. You know, I'm still wondering about Claypool. So like, are all these guys gonna just miraculously when we play the Packers next week? They all gonna jump on the field and jail. So yeah, it's a lot, man. Hey, Shep, I don't think we got enough time, bro. It's for me to tell you about how I felt about that last game. You know what I'm saying? And then pretty much they showed their hands, Paul showed his hands by letting Begat, you know, play and not PJ. So it was a given. It was a given, man. I thought that give PJ a chance. It's preseason. It's 3 games. We saw the first 2. Yeah, he played himself out, but you know, give him a chance, man. You know, it's just like Gibson. It was just like Gibson. Gibson knew that he wasn't gonna make this team, and he straight balled out. He straight balled out. That's the only time I've seen him really ball out since last year. You know what I'm saying? So those are the 3 things, man.
Okay, can you all hear me?
We can hear you.
Yes.
Okay, just make sure. I had to grab another pair of earbuds. We have some comments we're getting in. Those are the 3 things that you did like, right?
That I did not like.
Did not like. I'm sorry. Forgive me. So that's something we're going to get to about the the final 53-man roster. But yeah, that was a thing that a lot of people that I was reading and I saw that Travis Gibson, a guy who played really well as a rookie, but did not play. He flat out did not play well last year. I don't think he recorded a sack last year. They said he balled out in every single preseason game this season.
He did.
Now, I did also hear that one of our late round rookies, Travis Bell from Kennesaw State, was balling out. They also decided to waive him. I think they re-signed him, but they cut Travis Gibson. And also, there was a rumor before the 3rd game that they were allowing Travis Gibson to look for trade opportunities with his agent. He didn't ask for a trade. They were saying that they were allowing him to look for trade offers. So I don't think they were going to keep him. Now, there's 2 ways of thinking about Travis Gibson. And I can see both parts from the player and the coach. Now, as the ex-player in high school and college, practice is what you do to show that you can play on Saturday in college or Sunday in the league. Also, but if you're balling in the game, you're balling in the game. So there was reports that he wasn't balling as well in practice as he was in the game, which is big for coaches. Coaches believe you play how you practice. So if you can't prove to us in practice, we should put you on the field. Now, the preseason, everyone's going to play, or mostly everyone's going to play, so you're going to get a different scheme, I guess. So that could have played into them not keeping him. I don't know if that's a fact, but those were a lot of rumors that were.
Okay.
Yes,
What I was told that he requested a trade because he wanted to play in the 3-4. He didn't want to play a 4-3. That's what
he didn't request a trade. It was just
now.
He didn't request a trade, but he pulled out. And in kind of something Coach said, and I'm going to look at this from a woman's analogy. I play darts.
Sports fan.
I'm going to look at this from a sports fan analogy. I play darts. There are certain people I fucking throw well with, and I will ball out, hit my cricket numbers, hit my bullseye. And there are certain people I cannot stand to play with, and I will do nothing but fucking shit. I have seen some of our Chicago players that are good players that have started with the team great throughout the years. They've dropped off, got traded to another team, and they've fucking balled out. Some of it has to do with the chemistry inside the team, the coaches, and the
you got
players.
A fan, Brooke.
You have to work as a motherfucking team. You have to enjoy your job. You have to be happy walking into that locker room knowing these bitches have your back and on the field and enjoy what you do. If you don't do it, your heart and soul is not into that sport. And that's just coming
I
from
agree.
someone who plays another sport.
And
Because every day when I throw darts, I can go to tournaments, I can draw partners, and I can ball out with them. And there's people that I cannot throw with because I cannot stand them.
So are you saying? Are you saying Gibson wasn't happy? Because I was told, like again, I said, you know, the Bears run a 4-3. They said that he wanted to play a 3-4, and that last game he balled out. And I'm not saying he's going to continue to ball out wherever he lands. I'm saying like that last game, since they had him on the team, I've never seen that kid play like that. You know, and that's still a 4-3 defense. So I don't know if that rumor was true or not, but he straight balled out. And so, so you're saying,
hold on, guys, hold on, guys. I got what you said. Ed. You said he wasn't happy. Brooks said that he wasn't happy. So, hey, producer, can you put that last comment up about Travis Gibson, please? You can't just go ahead and rock it out. I was trying to put it up, but I couldn't.
He was starting to
show. Yes. So John, one of our hosts on the Tuesday show, he said Travis shouldn't have been cut. I've heard that from a lot of sources. He might come back to hurt us. Now, I can agree and can't agree at the same time because he underwhelmingly performed last year. Now that could have been because, like you said, the regime that drafted him, they were playing a 4-3. Now they played a 3-4. Now with this regime, we're playing a 4-3 where your hand is in the dirt every down. He underperformed. Now, and like we said, you said he balled out in game 3 versus the Bills. Sources said that he balled out in all 3 games. I think he had a strip sack in the Bills game. He had at least a sack in every game this preseason. So when he was cut, it was a shocker. Now, whether he wanted to play in the 3-4 or not, if you're performing, you theoretically should make the team. Now, if they felt that he was still having issues playing the 4-3, and they were saying, "Hey, look, man, maybe the GM and the coaches were like, look, things are not progressing the way we want you to progress playing the hand in the down the end. So what we're going to do is we're going to give you the snaps to produce some film, but we probably won't be keeping you." That happened. That's what the Cowboys did with their backup quarterback after they traded for Trey Lance. They told him that we're going to let you go, but this is your chance to put all the film that you can so that any team of the 31 other teams can pick you up. And I believe that's what they may have done. I don't know for a fact. I believe that's what they may have done for Travis. They gave him those snaps with the second and third team and maybe a little bit with the first team defense. You know, he was one of the leaders because Yannick Ngakoue didn't play. And I believe, just my thinking, that they allowed him to put that game film together to where he could pick up with another team.
So
I don't think that.
How many games are the Bears going to win this year? What are your guys' thoughts?
We ain't got that. We ain't got that yet. Relax.
Okay, what they're asking is in the comments. Let's be nice and appease some of our lookers. What are your thoughts?
Okay, you're right. I got you.
Okay, let me feed off this real quick. For the person that wrote in that Trevin Gibson, us cutting him was gonna come back to haunt us. You know what? You can say that about every player that's been cut in an NFL team from an NFL team in every division. You can say that. You know what I'm saying? It's like Trey Lance. It's like Trey Lance going to Dallas.
The Cowboys.
You know what I'm saying? It's like that. You know, is he gonna go back to San Francisco and light it up? Maybe.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Maybe. Right. Maybe.
Yeah.
You're right.
So that's all I got.
You're right. Okay, no problem.
So let's answer some of our comments, guys, because that is part of this show. Let's answer.
No problem. You're right, bro.
How many games do you think the Bears are going to win this year, Coach?
How many do I think they're going to win? We have a lot of injuries open in the season, so I don't think that we'll be clicking on all cylinders at least until close to midseason. So I think that if things go the way we believe they're going to go, we'll be healthier toward game 5, 6, 7, 8 in the second half of the season if everything goes how we want it to go as Bears fans. I honestly believe that the Bears can win 8 or 9 games. I'm not going to say 10. I think there's too many new moving parts for them to be winning 10, 11 games. Um, I want to see more development than wins per se. And I hate to say that because I don't think we're a Super Bowl contender now. So I would be happy with anything between 6 to 9 wins. 6 to 9 wins and the offense, specifically Justin with those three receivers, DJ, Mooney /2-3 with Claypool and any of the other mix of other our back end receivers plus tight ends. If we're seeing constant progression in the offense, that's what I'm looking for. So if we lose a game, uh, 31, 34, 31, 31, 34, but Justin balls out and we lose for whatever reason. If I'm seeing the progression that he's mastering this offense and the offense is starting to click on cylinders, that's a win for me because we're not trying to win a Super Bowl this year. We're not going to win a Super Bowl this year. Like there's two. I'm sorry. I'm just a realist. Just a realist. I don't see it.
All right.
There's too many new moving parts. I need to see progression from the offense, specifically from Justin and the rest of the offense. So I have them winning. I think the Vegas over under Caesars got them is I think it's 6.5. So if I was a betting man, which occasionally I am, I would put a comfortable amount of money. I'm not going to say how much I would put on them. I would bet the over. I would bet the over. So I'm going to say I got them winning 7 games. Now 8, 9, 10 is kind of like whoa. That's kind of like first year with Mitch Trubisky and Mark was it and Nagy. Like oh my god, but that was a defensive driven team. That team was not driven by the offense. I want to see offensive growth. So I have them winning 7 games. 7-10 is the record.
Next. Anthony, what is yours?
Oh man, mine's is 10-7 all day.
Okay.
All day. People say I'm crazy. People say I'm crazy. I expect for JF1 to take that leap, which this is his 3rd year, 2nd year in this offense. He now has a true number one. He has a plethora of running backs. I'm still concerned about Khalil Herbert catching the ball out the backfield, but again, bottom line, 10-7. Yep. Yeah, and check this out. I'm not just saying that. I put that on the books in Vegas, and also, Coach, I put that over. I bet it on the over in Vegas also on the below.
My man. Yeah. I haven't done it yet, but I plan on it. That's you can hold me to it. We'll do another recap of that where we'll write it down. In fact, just to bring up a quick thing, Brooke, before you give us ours, we were both wrong about our records for last year. When I find those notes, I will bring it up. Me and Brooke.
Last year, just leave them.
I wrote it down. I wrote the records down. When I find them in my notes, I'm going to. Hey, it's okay. We had a best case scenario. We had a best case scenario and worst case scenario, and neither of us had them winning 3 games.
Just burn those notes.
In fact, just to bring up something, JB got 7 or 8 wins. Just to bring up something, when Dan Orlowski said that the Bears have probably one of the worst receiving groups and skill players, T-Nick went off, and unfortunately, T-Nick, my man, Dan was right. He was right. We had a horrible receiving core. We were hoping for the best. He was right about it. Now he's changed his gear because he believes he has the talent. But sometimes I said that we're never going to agree with a pundit, whether they're a podcast or TV guy. We're never going to agree with everyone. The Tuesday team was throwing hot barbs, hot pokers and stickers. Hot pokers, the old school joints that you put in the fire at Dan Orlowski for his prediction. But the prediction turned out to be right. That offense was bottom of the barrel last year.
We got St. Brown still on the team and Vallejo Jones, and both of them should be for anybody else. So
no, they shouldn't have been cut.
Fucking go there.
What do you have, bro? What do you have the record for this year?
I'm always the homer out of every single one of us. I am the woman with hope.
You're the fan with hope. You're the fan with hope.
I am.
You just happen to be a woman.
That's it. That's it.
This one is hard. I've been looking over the schedule, and I already feel we're going to take Green Bay. Because I tell you, in my fantasy league, last night I was busy at work. There was a fantasy. I couldn't draft. So I was on auto draft. You know how that works. If you're not in there, it just goes from you get the next best person down the line. Yeah, my fantasy was stacked with wide receivers and running backs. I got Jay Burrows for a quarterback. So today I went to go fix early this morning, went to go fix it. Not a single person drafted Jordan Love as a quarterback. He's on waivers for me right now. And I am going, because I only have Jay Burrows, because you know how it works when you're on auto. So that tells me a lot about the Packers. The only team I'm scared of this year in the North is the Detroit Lions. Some of the other teams we're playing, it's a give me here or there.
Did you say scared of the Lions?
I'm a little scared.
I'm chuckling inside.
They're not Cubs anymore. They're not Cubs anymore.
I can
grown up. They've kind of
Did you
grown up from
wait?
Cubs
Did you wait?
to
Did
a
you
little
just
fighting force.
what did you just call the Lions?
They've grown up from little baby Cubs this year.
Oh, okay. Because I thought you said something completely different.
They were Cubs before. They
Okay,
were little Cubs we could hold in our hand and
I
say,
thought
"Oh, you're so
I thought
cute.
the insult.
In the basement."
I thought the word you used for those Lions was a different word, which I'm not going to say.
No, I call them Cubs. CUBS.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
not
I didn't think
Cubs anymore.
Okay, I thought the word you used was something that you would go to specific websites to see a certain lifestyle. That's what I thought you called them.
Okay.
I thought you called them.
Anyways, with that given, seeing the draft last night, that because I was busy at work, totally missed the draft. Jordan Love was still available for me to put on waivers on a 12-person fantasy team. Jordan Love was not picked up. I'm the homer of everybody.
So you got them. How many games, Brooke? How many games?
11-6. 11-6.
11-6.
Looking at our record,
you make 11-6 in the NFC North. That's you talking about you scared of the Lions. If they go 11-6.
Hey, we're gonna split with the Lions. We're gonna split with the Lions 1-1. We're taking the Packers this year. We're sweeping them.
Ooh.
2 games against the Packers. We're sweeping them because Jay Love ain't got no love for Green Bay. And Clifford. Now, if they put Clifford in, I might resend that and take that back down to 10. If they put Clifford in. Just saying. The Vikings.
Hold on, Brooke. Hold on. You got them going 11-6. That's your prediction. Hey, producer, put up that last comment about. No, it's a question from one of our guests because I want to address it without actually giving an answer because we're not going to do that today. We're going to do that next Thursday. It was from it was from one of our Brooke supporters because he's got a crush on Brooke. The comment was from.
No, he's got a crush on me. We're good, baby boy.
Anthony Mick. I ain't gonna lie. I'm bad with names. I'm sorry, but it's an Anthony comment. Put that Anthony comment up about our prediction for the first game. And if you can, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it anyway. We're not gonna have a prediction for the first game because we're gonna wait till next Thursday,
right,
to make those predictions for the first game because that will be our first official pre-midweek review of the game. This is kind of a synopsis. Not that one, but that's okay. He got him 9-4.
9-4.
Wait, that's not. Wait, I'm about to say that's math ain't laughing.
Am I smoking crack tonight?
You got a 9-4. That's not 17 games.
Anthony.
That's okay, Ant. That's all right. That's okay. Other Anthony.
Yeah.
The other
That's 13.
The season. I'm going for 11.
I hear you, T-Nick.
That's a long shot. All
right. So we're at an hour 40. We've actually kind of caught up on kind of the outline I have for today. I appreciate Ant coming on. He came on 30 minutes. There's no hate there. Just we've actually kind of gotten to the section where I thought we would get. So that was the preseason game. We vaguely talked about the 53-man roster. We did say there was surprise that Travis Gibson was cut. Were there any other surprises from any of you of people that were signed or cut from the 53
Our
or the
new
practice
punt
squad?
returner is not Vallejo Jones.
Oh,
Woo!
I know.
It's not Velvet.
Hey, if he returns, if Bayless returns the kickoff this year, because he's the kickoff returner, if he returns the kickoff return, you gotta love him.
Our new punt
Right.
returner. Chicago Bears have designated a new man that they picked up. Did you miss that?
No, I didn't. Well, I did not miss it. Of course not.
No, we didn't.
So the final 53.
Cincinnati.
Yeah,
Today?
he's a bona fide. No, it was actually a couple. It was I think it was yesterday. Trent Taylor. I do know that he used to play for Louisiana Tech. Shout out to all my La Tech fans down in Louisiana. So I'm not going to say anything, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a quick the 16 guys who made the practice squad. Linebacker Baskerville out of LSU. Travis Bell, the 7th round pick from Kennesaw State, who was balling in the preseason also, wasn't he? And
yes, he was.
they signed him to the practice squad. Robert Burns, Steven Carlson, who dropped a ball for a touchdown that Bajan passed to him. I do know that. We got an offensive lineman Collins. We got another linebacker Gates, D lineman Harris, DB Greg Stroman Jr. December Webster, a guy who was on the team last year, who came on as a returner. He made the practice squad again. Kendall Williamson, another DB. That's the other 7th round pick from Stanford, who people thought was going to make the 53-man roster. So we've actually have all intact. We have every single draft pick intact right now. They either made the 53-man roster or they're on the practice squad. So that bodes well when you got all those guys still associated with the team, as well as D lineman Alexander Delson, Daniel Hardy, Bill Murray, offensive lineman. We got a kicker. A John Parker Romo. I don't know if he's related to Tony Romo, but John Parker Romo, and then we've got Roy. I can't say the gentleman's last name. I think it may be either a Samoan, a Polynesian name, or maybe he's from Australia. He's a part of the International Pathway Program. I think every team has a guy
What position, Chef?
The O lineman. The last name is spelled Mbaet. His first name was Roy. So he's one of the guys who's an international player that doesn't have like American history of playing. Every team has a guy who's a part of the pathway, I believe. So he made the practice squad. So he's another developmental O lineman. So we got a lot of defense on the practice squad. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 out of 15 guys. So essentially more than 50% of the practice squad players are defensive players. The other players are offensive. And then we have one special teams guy and John Parker Romo who made the practice squad. Practice squad is 16 men deep. So I think I'm missing a guy as well.
You know what that means, right? You know what that means, right?
What does that mean?
That means that they're going to cut 2 players and bring 2 more in. When you name that as their practice roster, polls is not done. We'll be talking about it next week.
We got a week. So I don't think he's done either.
That's what that means.
I definitely don't think he's done.
And bring 2 in.
So, guys,
I definitely don't think he's done.
All that being said, we still have a lot to talk about next week in a shorter show, 6 p.m. Thursday nights, new showtime. Am I correct?
I believe so. The last thing I want to talk about, the last thing I'm going to bring up is the thing that everyone's been bringing up. Brooke had a difficulty with that young man's name and said he was balling out. Every Bears fan in every group I've been in, especially different videos I've watched that talked about the young man from Shepherd University, Division II, the all-time college football leader in touchdowns, Tyson Bagent. Tyson Bagent.
Or Bagnet?
Tyson Bagent.
I can
say
it.
Tyson Bagent.
Things the way that
everyone said he balled out. He's currently QB2 because they did re-sign Nathan Peterman to the practice squad, so we do have 3. I will say that no matter how positive Bears fans are, the thing that My greatest fear, this is a legit fear, not the Lions. I have this fear more than the Lions. My greatest fear, because I want to bring this up in two reasons. I'm gonna make it quick. I promise. One, every team has I'm gonna say this word. Every team has a fixation about backup quarterbacks. The backup quarterback is the most famous dude in town. Every team has the backup quarterback who they love. Every team. We haven't as Bears fans, but a lot of teams have the backup quarterback who they love. And it seems like the internet Bears fans have anointed this guy. They've anointed him. I'm not gonna say what they've anointed him yet, but I've seen comments where they say, well, if JF1 doesn't work out, we've got this guy from Division 2. Check this out. I'm not saying the minute can't play.
Let's settle this. Let's settle this, Chef. Let's make it real clear. We're gonna make it real clear to those that believe that. Let me tell you, anytime you see your backup in a game starting, you have problems. I don't care what his name is. So that's that.
Dang.
Something. Nagy and those guys screwed up after Mitch Trubisky got hurt.
I'm trying to figure out what you was doing with this Nagy thing.
They put in their QB2, but this QB2 balls out better than Mitchell Trubisky ever did in the preseason.
No, I ain't gonna never say that. I ain't gonna never say that.
And right now, the way he steps back in the goddamn pocket to throw the ball, the way he keeps his stuff open, and he can run like Fields. Fields has something to watch out for. So if Fields don't step up,
bro, if you think that Trajan Bajan is a better quarterback than Mitch Trubisky, I will take a shot at this right now. Everyone knows this. Everyone knows this. Whoever met me or every forum.
Better than Mitchell. Just saying.
No.
Just saying he's way better than Mitchell. Watch him. He stepped back in the pocket. He looked at all of his receivers. He did what he needed to do. Fields is quick to throw. Fields is quick to run and tuck it. This guy will step back, watch. Yeah, he took a sack or two, but he also ran it. So, just saying. I love you. I watched the preseason game.
You're a Bears fan who happens to be a woman, but you are a Bears fan first. You're a woman second.
Bears fan first.
The fact that she's a woman Bears fan. She's female. You're a Bears fan. Now, these are the facts.
And I like what this.
I have never been a Mitch Trubisky guy. I was trying to wrap it up quick, but Brooke, you did this to yourself and you did it to me. I'm about to take this shot. I've never been a Mitch Trubisky guy. I wasn't a Mitch Trubisky fan in college. I wasn't with him trading up to the second pick. I wasn't at any time of him playing with the Bears. But under no circumstance is Tyson Bagent a better quarterback than Mitch Trubisky.
Oh, right now he is.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I just watched Mitch Saturday, and
there's no way. Okay. Now he is serviceable. He's going to be a backup for the rest of his career. Now, what I will say is I want him to develop this young man because he has potential, obviously, but I just want fans to be aware. It's a very slippery slope when you have a backup quarterback and your QB1 is our QB1. Like Ann said, if Tyson Bagent has to play games this year against elite top tier NFL talent, we're going to be in trouble. We're going to be in trouble. All right. With that being said, we're at an hour. We're at an hour and 50 minutes. It's 10 o'clock. My lovely significant other has put our sons to bed. I've got a lot of fantasy football prep still to do. I have to be at work. So what we're going to do is we're going to wrap this up as much as we can. Can we get a quick producer? Can we get a rapid fire? Can we get a quick rapid fire of the last 10 comments? And then we're going to shout out some people. Can we get that?
Rapid fire, you want me to read them that fast?
No, we're just going to you want to read them?
I'm not going to read
them. How many bush lights are you deep right now, Brooke?
Well, I was already told by the producer I could start drinking at 4, and then I was throwing darts. And because our show got pushed, so yeah.
My brother Ant, cheers from Mexico City. Is that the guy who came on the show for the CCP group? Is that
I
him?
love Loki. Loki is actually
That is
one of
Loki.
my
Okay,
friends
cool.
for NFL
Loki,
club.
yo, what up, dude?
He,
That's
he
our
has
Bears.
his
Yeah.
That's our
own
Bears diehard
podcast.
fan from
Loki's a great
Mexico.
person.
Thank you,
Huge
Ant.
shout out to
The other Anthony. Justin Fields is
Mhm.
the best quarterback. I mean, you must be drinking Busch Light too, my man. With the
Anthony.
with the
You
face.
in the gutters with
Frank,
me tonight.
Brooke, I like him. Number 2, Second Streeter to prove it. Okay, versus Second Streeter is very true.
Oh,
I agree.
you
What
don't
else
care
we got? What
about
else we got? What else we got?
I'm kidding.
Another bear down. Yeah, the other Anthony must be on the Busch Lights too,
I'm
because
telling you,
he
bro.
repping fire.
It's
Ain't
with
nothing
me
wrong.
tonight.
This show was awesome. I appreciate the love. We appreciate the love
Thank you.
once again.
Thank you.
So, thank you, producer, for running those down. Chiefs Lions opener. Not well. Yes, that is the Thursday night game. We'll be on
We
before
don't
that
care
game
about
if
that
everybody's
game.
watching
That's
Prime,
not us.
but we will be breaking it down. So every Thursday at 6 p.m. If there's any later, we will be announcing at 6 p.m. It'll be me, Chef. It'll be Ant and Brooke, or it'll be Brooke, Ant, and me. Whatever order. The order does not matter. We will be bringing you the midweek Bears report, not brought to you by, excuse me, from Chicago Clubhouse Network. What we're going to do right now is I'm going to do anyone we need to shout out. We already shout out Loki. We shout out the other Anthony. Frank, we shouted out. John Bowles, we shouted out. T. Nick, who's producing, I believe, tonight, we shouted out. Who else? Am I missing anyone? I don't think we're
Just do
missing
full
anyone.
shout outs. I think we're good.
I think we're good on the shout outs. It was yeah. Okay. Those are our shout outs for the week. Thank you for everyone who tuned in. We're going to have a quick outro from everyone. We're gonna start with Brooks since she just shotgun that last bit of Busch Light. Go ahead, Brooks. What you got?
Thank you for tuning in. I am suffering from allergies right now. Drinking beer as usual. Hey, and nothing new with me over here. Coming from a woman's point of view.
Oh.
I love doing this show with these two crazy cats up here. Thank you, T. Nick, for producing tonight. Thank you.
This has been a Chicago Clubhouse Network production.
And he just got
And then he does that shit in the middle of... Really?
Come on, Brooks. Come on, Brooks. Bring it home, baby. Bring it home.
For tonight. I am so firing
Come on.
Anyways, so a huge shout out to all of our Chicago Bears fans that tune in from Mexico, out of the United States, in the United States. We all appreciate
Global.
you. We all love you. Huge shout out to all of our sponsors, Moore's Beers, Under Armour. I believe Harold's Chicken, is that right? Is that still one? Because I was told I had Harold's Chicken when I come to Chicago next week.
Don't forget Hugh, the Hugh Lounge in Chicago. All right, bro. All right. Ant, what you got, big dog?
Hey, first of all, I'd like to give a shout out to both of my hosts, Brooke, Coach Chef, everyone that tuned in. T. Nick, thank you very much for the opportunity. Just everybody, man. It's anytime I can get together and we can chop it up about football, you know what I'm saying? I'm grateful for that. You know what I'm saying? So I'd like to thank everybody that tuned in that posed a question or answer. Hey, thank you. Thank you for tuning in. And thank you, Brooke, and thank you, Coach. That's all I got.
I'm going to thank both of my co-hosts, Brooke and Ant. Ant, the new family member to the show. Brooke, the mainstay. Can't wait to see you September 9th. I unfortunately won't be at the event, but I will see you that evening and the rest of the squad that evening. Thank you for everyone who tuned in. I can't say everybody's name because we're running about 10, 15 minutes past what I said we were going to run, and we're pushing on 2 hours. And I would like to tell everyone, please subscribe. You need to subscribe. If you're watching us on Facebook, you need to subscribe on YouTube and follow us. We don't have 500 followers on YouTube, subscribers on YouTube. Go to YouTube, subscribe, watch us on YouTube. That we need the algorithm to plug us for everything CCP, whether it's the Tuesday show, Wednesday, she said what she said, Thursday, which is the newly anointed midweek Bears report. Midweek Bears report brought to you by Chef, Ant, and Brooke. Brooke, Ant, Chef, Ant, Brooke, and Chef. It doesn't matter who you say it, we're hosting it. Plus the 30-minute preview show on Sunday, which will have Easy and Brooke. That will be debuting On Sunday, a 30-minute just quick rundown, plus a easy show on Friday.
On Friday.
Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. We need the algorithm to plug. Our anniversary for CCP has been will be 3 years. September 6th will be the 3-year anniversary of the Chicago Clubhouse Network podcast. Like and subscribe on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. Watch us on YouTube. Watch us on YouTube. Watch us on YouTube.
Right.
That's all I got. Thank you. Thank you, the producer, for tonight.
Before we
Yes.
cut out, and when you're done, Coach Steph, our producer needs to throw up the stuff for Saturday, September 9th at Club Hugh in Chicago.
At Hugh Chicago. Hugh Chicago.
You
H,
have
you
it
see
in-
it? You see it
Throw it up,
right?
produce it.
Right there. Right there. If you look right below my name
Live podcast
and next to Brooke, Hugh Chicago, a mod mayor, former Chicago Bear, 4 p.m. Hugh, Saturday, September 9th, the day before the Bears play the Packers here at home at Soldier Field. Be there or be like me at work, a square. Be there and tune in. Be there or tune in. Be there, tune in.
Gordon, Misty, Miss Mongo, they'll
There you
all
go.
be at Club Hugh, and I'm pretty sure
Tyler Gordon's family. Yep. Mama Gordon. All right.
And a plethora of veteran Bears, Chicago veterans. So we go quite a lineup going to be there. Quite a lineup.
There you go.
It's going to be fun.
Yes.
So with that being said, we are out of here. Tune in next week, but also tune in Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Sunday morning. Tune in. Chicago Clubhouse Network taking over the Midwest and the world, one show at a time. T. Nick, take us out.
I think he went to bed.
Take us out, T. Nick.
Went to bed after he hit that rock.
This has been a Chicago Clubhouse Network production.
Whew.
Oh, my goodness.
It's still recording, just so you know. It still records for a couple seconds. It does. It's still recording for a couple seconds.
Fucking fire.
Brooke, how many Busch Lights do you need, young lady?
Way too many tonight because Nick told me I could start drinking at 4 because he thought we were going to do the show. So I started darts. I'm a few beers in. We good.
In the bag.
Dear Lord, you